Okay, hi and welcome to Creatives Connect. Thank you thank you all for coming. That's what I meant to say. And if you're watching this online on the replay, thank you and welcome. So today I decided to call it Catch Up, Coaching and Cards. So 3 different things, but all kind of goes in together. So I don't know if you have seen them before, but I have a deck of cards, self-love and creative cards that I co-created with BT Design, who's not here today, but you can see the launch is on my YouTube channel if you want to see Brenda. And it was a bit of a miracle when it happened. So I'll tell you a little bit of the story. In fact, I'm just gonna go and get how it all started. So give me 1 second. So Chris is here, and that's all right, Julie. One of the things Chris says is the importance of stories and how stories help us to connect with others. So I'm going to start the session with a little bit of a story about how the cards came about and why they're so special to me and hopefully to you when you've had your card readings. So they started off, my sister gave me this little box for my birthday, not this year, a while ago. It says self-care suggestions, and I started drawing on it because that was one of the suggestions, was to decorate the box. I haven't quite finished it, but a little bit of a drawing on there. So she gave me, she must have spent ages on it, all these cards with little bit of suggestions. So it says, go on Spotify and discover your favorite artist is one of the suggestions. And then what else have we got? Try a new hobby. So on each of them, there was just little suggestions of things. Count to 20. Oh, that was mine. I'll get onto that bit in a minute. So she gave me all these suggestions, have a bubble bath, of things that I could do for my self-care and to look after my mental health, because my sister knows the journey that I've been on with my mental health, and she knows sometimes I get a little bit upset over the small things or over the big things, depending on what's going on in my life. So it was really such a lovely present for her to give to me. Anyways, in the box were lots of blank cards. So she'd given me the option to write my own. And that was one of the ones I think I wrote myself, count to 20. So I started to use the blank cards. That's what it says. These are blank, write your own. I started to use the blank cards and I really enjoyed it. And I thought, oh, I like doing this. And then I used to have, well, I still do have a huge box of cards that I'd buy. I'm a bit obsessed with them. Angel cards, oracle cards. I've got them all. I've got crystal decks, yoga cards. You know, they're all there. Sacred Creators deck. They're all in this big box anyway. And I wanted to get these love cards. I was obsessed with these love cards. I really wanted to have manifest a nice relationship, which now I have. But I really wanted these cards desperately, but I couldn't afford them. I had no money in the bank for these cards. So I thought, what do? I better make my own deck. So using the cards that my sister gave me, I started to create my own deck. And then on a group called a WhatsApp group, that before I had Creatives Connect WhatsApp group, I was on a group called, well, I'm still on a group called Positive Vibes, which is run by Suma Mangra, who some of you might know. Her business is called Manifestation Maven. Anyway, she messaged me and she goes, Jemma, I know somebody that helps coaches make cards. So I got in touch with Brenda and there we go. Here we are, self-love and creative cards. I did get the love cards in the end. I managed to get some money to get the love cards anyways. They weren't that expensive, but at the time I didn't have it. But so I got both, and here we are. Here's the cards. Now, I'd never met Brenda in person. We spent a whole year making these cards. I don't know how long it took, maybe a year, let's say it was. And then I was on the Isle of Wight. I'd never met her in person. And but I knew there was something special about this connection, this, I suppose, well, in A Course in Miracles, they say holy relationship connection with somebody that you're supposed to meet, people that you're supposed to meet in life. So, anyways, I was on the Isle of Wight with my family and I'm doing a chakra meditation. And I get to my throat. It wasn't my third eye, it was my throat. And I see the beach and I say, we've got to go to the beach. Anyway, so I get my parents to go to the beach and there's turnings, one right and left. And we got to the turning, we go, which way do we go? Which route do we go to the beach? So I goes, let's go this way, let's go the left. So we go down this road, we're in the Isle of Wight, no one that we know is there. And then I suddenly hear, hi, Gemma. And I'm like, what? What's going on? Who's saying my name? And it was Brenda who made the cards with us. She was staying with her family on the Isle of Wight, exactly the same place that we were staying. And yeah, so I just thought I'd share those two stories of how I made the cards and how I bumped into Brenda in real life. We'd never met in real life. We did the cards online. And that's a little bit of an introduction to why I want to share the cards today. So I'm going to start by just going around each person. If you want to introduce yourself before we do the card readings and any coaching that anyone might want, just a little bit of a catch up. If I don't know you, then it's an introduction. If I know you, then it's just sharing whatever you want to share today about. You can be about your business or work, or it can just be about life. Totally up to you. Who wants to start?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Yep. Adam, off you go.
So my name's Adam. I've known Gemma for a little while now. Met through the Creatives Connect group, and I am an artist and coach. And I have a day job as well. I'm looking to change the name of my business soon, so I'm going to relaunch it. Um, but I've had it's been very stormy this year with lots of things going on. So going forward, I've got a marathon coming up in 2025, so I want to get training for that. And I'm looking forward to the rest of this year coming. And I think the 2025 is going to be hopefully a great year because we're that far now from COVID that things should really start to take off again.
Thank you. Thanks, Adam. What are you thinking to call your business? Have you got any ideas?
I haven't. I have put in a name change. I'm going to wait until it comes back approved, and then I'll give
All
everyone a
right.
shout.
All right. Thank you so much. Who wants to go next? Julie, did you have your hand up? I don't know if she's gone. Anyone else?
I will. So
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's lovely to come and meet everybody. So I'm Caroline Cook, and my business is Well with Nature. So I just met Chris this morning. So my background is in the NHS, but I sort of suffered with my own health burnout about 20 years ago. Got into nature and gardening, and then started working as a horticultural therapist, and now since COVID I've got sort of trained in nature connection, and I'm a nature and forest therapy practitioner. So yeah, it's been really exciting. I mean, it's sort of been 20 years, trying to get people to note, realize the importance of nature for well-being. But now since COVID, it's like everybody's sort of got it, and sort of the whole thing with mental health and nature, it's sort of taken off. So it's been very exciting because I'm working with Sheffield Museums, and I'm now working with Chatsworth as well, which has just been amazing. So I've been doing like river mindfulness walks at Chatsworth over the summer, which have all sold out. So yeah, so it's very exciting. I do a lot of work with People Keeping Well Sheffield, Age UK Sheffield, with a women's domestic abuse charity. So lots of different things. So yeah, so it's just so great just to meet Chris this morning. Literally, we've just done this river mindfulness walk this morning. Just lovely connecting like with a group of total strangers. And I love doing like we do circle sharing. I also work as a women's circle. I've just trained to facilitate women's circles. So I'm running women's circles, Abbeydale Industrial Hamlet as well. So yeah, so lots of exciting things. So, but lovely to meet this group because obviously a lot of things I'm actually doing quite on my own, you know.
Yeah.
So so yeah, so lovely to meet this group. And actually, just I'll mention as well, talking about cards, it's really funny you should say that because I've actually just got these cards. There's
Ah,
this
think like
program
a
that's
tree.
fabulous. It's called Think Like a Tree. There's a book and there's a sort of like a course that you can do. But she's just done these cards. So the whole thing is like think like a tree, and there's things like different cards. So like engage with the present. So it's like the main focus of trees energy is on what is happening right now. How can you shift your attention so you are more engaged in the present moment? So, you know, and then there's sort of like find slow and small solutions. Trees grow slowly with occasional bursts of faster growth. Evolution is slow with occasional faster jumps. And then it's like, and then on the back, it's like, how can you slow down your life? How can you draw on this principle to move beyond frustrations? So there's all of these cards, and I get the idea is, I guess you could just pick a different card, and it prompts you to sort of connect with nature,
I,
which is lovely. So yes, I've just
I
got
love
these. It's
that.
funny you mentioned that.
Would you be able to? I'm wondering if you could, when we go round, if you could maybe pull some of those cards as well, because they look really good.
Yeah, yes,
Relates
yes.
to how I've been feeling. Almost feel like that was a message for me as well with that, the slow down and small growths with sudden burst of also I'm not quite sure how it was phrased, but it really fits into how I was feeling this morning, just frustration around not growing quickly enough, but actually
Yes.
thinking of it more like nature and how a tree grows is a really nice way of putting it.
Yes, and so the book is fabulous. The book is called Think Like a Tree, and it's like 52 nature principles. So the book actually goes through with like a chapter on each of the principles. So it's really interesting. So yeah,
Thank you for
thank you.
sharing. Thanks. Who wants to go next?
I can do.
Yeah, go for it.
So I just wanted to say, nice to meet you all. I wanted to introduce myself. So my full name, not sure if it's there in the screen, but it's Pablo Calvo. I have a day job. I work with computers. I do software, various different things. But at the same time, and well, I was, my parents also encouraged that, so it sort of became part of my personality as well. And so I had a lot of bands throughout the years, and now I'm with this band called Cyteria, and we are playing all over the UK in different cities and things like that, which is really cool. Um, I didn't expect that we were going to get to that level, but that's where it is, and it's a good thing. We wish to make it even better, and we're going to be playing in Sheffield very soon, on the 5th of October. And yeah, it's a charity event, and it's to raise money for animals as well. So it's an animal charity, and I think it's a lovely. It's always good. We have a few festivals coming up, and we were trying to focus on that, and then doing positive things and connect with festivals and with more different communities and sort of expand our reach as well. What I love about this band is that there's very positive lyrics in it. There's the occasional rants in here and there, but I think it comes with the territory, I think. But there's a lot of, like, in contrast with a lot of other bands that I've seen, is there's a lot of like positive imagery in them, especially we've got 3 albums now, and the first two, like, a lot of the songs were written by the guitarist, Jackie. Like, she also plays with another band, which is another thing, but yeah, so that's one of the things that I like the most about the band. That it's really, it talks about reflecting and and positivity, meditation, and all that sort of thing, which sort of led me into this trying to be a little bit more spiritual over the years. And I think that's where sort of I started to tune into that wavelength, to be more in tune with my body, with myself, trying to help myself, trying to help others whenever I can and wherever I can. And yeah, in my own way. But obviously, I think you have very, very different ways. But I like to connect with communities, and that's why I'm here and trying to say yes to things and be helpful where I can. And I think there's a very high amount of positive things that in this group we can do. So I wanted to thank you, and that's sort of a quick introduction. So techie and music, basically.
Thanks, Pablo. Okay, who's next? Okay, I think Siobhan has introed on the chat. Brando was here, but he's gone, so I don't know if the connection's not right. Okay, do you want me to read it out, Siobhan, or people can read it? I'll just give a brief anyways. So Siobhan is a wellness coach and creative on a spiritual journey. She's a mama, 10-year-old boy, and has worked in a women's charity for the past 2.5 years, and has worked as a holistic practitioner for the last 10 years. And she's in a bit of a crossroads at the minute with the charity ending, and now she's moving back into the online and supporting coaches and healers with their businesses, including photography, branding, messages, business planning, and offerings. Also supporting those on a spiritual path to cultivate community aligned with their divinity and navigate healing through grounded spirituality. Lovely to hear from you all. Thanks, Siobhan. Siobhan is very positive impact on my life, and she arranges some really great healing retreats and events and workshops. Highly recommend. So Chris or Julie, do you want to go next? Yeah.
So I'll go next. Right. So as you can see, my name is Chris. Gemma and I worked together for a few years, co-hosting a podcast, and I'm a marketing coach, and I specialize in storytelling and helping small businesses and charities with their storytelling, which is the very basis of marketing. If you've not got a story, then marketing becomes a bit random and probably doesn't work. Definitely doesn't work. I just want to mention a couple of things. First of all, last week I was in Wales. I can't pronounce it, but the sticky out bit below Anglesey, and near to a town called Criccieth. And I was there for a writing retreat, and we were focusing on memoirs and nature. One of the rooms we met in was the room where Lloyd George, past Prime Minister, died, and his grave was at the bottom of the drive, just across the road, beside a river. And the river walk was amazing, particularly because the forest in that area is temperate rainforest, which we don't get in Sheffield. So, believe it or not, the reason we don't get it is because it doesn't rain enough. Um, but and you know when you can see temperate rainforest because there's loads and loads of epiphytes growing on the trees, loads of ferns and small plants and mosses and lichens and all sorts of things. And it was amazing just looking. Every tree was festooned with all sorts of other things growing on it. You don't get that around here. Trees around here, they keep themselves to themselves and they don't cooperate with other plants, or not very much. And it was great. And we also saw a very special sort of a tree. I don't know what species it was, but it had fallen over, but its roots were still in the ground. And when a tree falls over, obviously the light's not going to get to the leaves. So what it does is it has all these dormant buds under the bark and they all sprout. So you get a row of sprouts coming out of the trunk. And it's called a harp because the sprouts are like the strings of a harp. And it was I have got a photo of it, perhaps attach it at some point, but um, it was great to see that. They're not common, but they're not restricted to temperate rainforests. They could, in principle, happen anywhere. The other thing I want to mention is I run something called Telling Stories Making Business, which is free of charge. A business owner or charity owner or worker or whatever, or a creative, tells a story and then receives feedback from a few other people plus me. And we had one on last Thursday with Francis Goodall, who's a member of Creatives Connect. And the next one is on the 10th of October with Elisha Ward, who's also a member of Creatives Connect. They're not always members of Creatives Connect, but there haven't been any live business network meetings over the summer, so it's harder to connect with people and persuade them to come on it. So really two messages is I've just put the oh, hello Siobhan, replying to Siobhan's email, and if you follow that link, that'll take you to the program. And if you keep looking at it, you can see new storytellers as they're added. The 93rd one is on October the 10th. So I've heard 93 stories from business owners all over Sheffield. I'm the only person who's been to them all. And but the message is do come along to hear Elisha's story, but also if you would like to tell a story and get feedback, and the feedback's not is partly about structuring the story, but it can also be about how you might use the story in your business. Then just let me know and we'll sort out the details. So I think that's everything. And yep, that looks like it's everything.
Fantastic. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, I told my story at Telling Business, making stories, selling business, which way it goes around. But yes, and it really helped me to tell my story and reach more people. So, Julie, would you like to share?
Hi, yeah. I didn't hear some of the earlier people because I had internet trouble. I had to restart the router. Sorry about that. Anyway, I live in Hebden Bridge in West Yorkshire, and I'm an artist, and I paint and I draw and I write, and I have been known to sing and play guitar, and I'm overdue getting a keyboard. I need to get myself a keyboard or a piano. And so I also teach and practice a course in miracles, which I've been doing for eons, and other holistic modalities. And I've got a friend who's unexpectedly arrived from Spain yesterday, who lives on a Course in Miracles community. So I'm all kind of taken up with that this weekend, and it's good.
Nice. Thank you so much. I know, I just saw your event. Looks exciting.
Yeah, yeah. Matthew's going to tell, you know, how his story of awakening and how he came to Course in Miracles and what it's like living on Course in Miracles community in Spain and more about that kind of thing.
Is that
Yeah.
Living Miracles or a different
Living
one?
Miracles, yeah.
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 Okay, so I'm gonna start the card reading. So basically, how we can do it is if you type in the chat, or you can raise your hand. So you can either type a question that you want answering, or you can just raise your hand and we'll do like a mini coaching / card reading. So whatever is needed for whatever question that you have. Sometimes the card won't directly answer the question, but it might give you another answer that you need more. If that makes any sense. Okay, we've got one from Julie. Should I leave the UK and move to Portugal? Okay, so the cards are definitely not going to tell you whether to move, but I have just pulled Abundantly Blessed. So just take a moment to just see the card. And everybody else as well, these cards are for all of us. Even though it's for one person's question, see what it relates to you as well. So on the back it says, take a moment to think or write down all the things you're grateful for. Start with 5 and see if you can add more. As you do the gratitudes, use the 5 senses, sight, sounds, touch, taste, smell, and then ground into the now. Now take this visualization to the vision of something you'd like to experience and imagine it a current reality. Feel it as if it's already true. Feel the joy, feel the abundance. And the affirmation is, I am abundantly blessed with all the gifts that life has to offer. I accept these gifts now. So, Julie, is it all right if I ask you a few questions around
Yeah.
this? So, first of all, what did the card bring up for you?
And that I can do anything I want.
Nice.
Like I'm fully supported, whatever I choose. Yeah.
Yeah. So did you say, so the question was about moving to Portugal. Is there a place in Portugal for you to go right now? Or is this yeah.
Yeah, this is a place I used to live. There seems to be an echo. Can you hear an echo?
Yeah, just talk again.
It's a place I used to live, and my ex-partner lives there on some land. And my son, who's 22, moved out from living in my house here in UK in February, and he's in Canada now, but he's going to go to Portugal. I've got empty nest syndrome. Somewhat. And anyway, so what it brings up is, should we all reconvene in Portugal? If there's a feeling for that, you know, we want to be together, even if it's just for a short time, actually, because now we've got the whole Brexit thing, you know. And I've already manifested a man who, goodness knows how it happens. He's arrived from New York. He wants somewhere to live in Hebden, and he's offered to sublet my house and pay all my costs while I go wherever I want to go.
Wow. That sounds pretty much given then.
I suppose so, yeah. And so it's just a matter of saying yes to that, really. And you know, there's fears there, like, why would I give my house to someone else or something? But yeah, I'm supported, and I can make that choice if I want to try it out.
Yeah. Great. So what are the next steps for you, I reckon, moving towards that?
Well, see, it's slightly complicated in that I'm on universal credit at the moment, so I'd have to come off that, and yeah, then contact the guy who wants to live here and book a flight, and yeah, just go for it, I suppose.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. I mean, it feels exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's other things that I should have said this and meant to.
Mm-hmm.
I chose to sign up for a year-long course in Cornwall at the Newlyn Art School.
At the new what?
Can you hear me? Newlyn Art School.
Okay.
And so it's 6 weekends over the year, and I've been to the first one, and it was very exciting.
Okay.
So I've got that going on as well at the same time.
Yeah. That makes sense. So it's sort of like you've already made a commitment here. You've got this offer in Portugal as well. So it's about how I'm guessing. I mean, would there be a way to do both? It'd be a bit of a travel, wouldn't it?
I could do both. I could just go to Portugal for a visit, 4 to 6 weeks or something, and then come back and do the carry on with my art course. It's deciding, isn't it? And I just saw a video about decisions, and the lady just said, kind of just do it. You want to get married, you don't want to get married, whatever it is, just don't dilly-dally and think should, just do it, and then you'll find out whether it's good or not.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing
Sorry
that.
to be really annoying. Just if you if you are leaving Universal Credit, that's fine. But if you're staying on Universal Credit, if you go out of the country for more than 4 weeks, they'll stop your Universal Credit. So just so you know.
Yeah, I already asked them if I could leave, and they said there's no concept such as a holiday. And if you're going abroad or wherever you're going, you shall have to report about your job search.
Oh.
Thanks for that.
Does anyone else have any thoughts around what Julie shared that they want to contribute? No? Do you feel complete around, well, obviously there's things to do, but is there anything else you'd like to say, Julie, around that?
I think that there's doubt in me, like it's a lot of money, the course in Cornwall, and I've agreed to it, but there's doubt there, and there's a feeling of to want to back out of it. I'm just being honest about that. Yeah.
I was thinking in some other scenarios, so in my experience, sometimes people that have those thoughts around me, they went and studied the language first, and then they said, okay, do I like this? Or maybe that's the first point of contact with the culture, and you see if maybe that'll help, or I'm not sure if you have already.
You're talking about Portugal now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I lived there before for some time, but I left 12 years ago.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So you're ready, so the language and the culture is sort of part of it, and it would be sort of a matter of reinserting it back in that sense, it will be easy for you.
So the place where I go, it's not predominantly Portuguese. That it's to do with living off grid and dropping out from society, if you like, dropping out from the system. There are several people who live there that I know. In fact, they're mainly German. So yeah, but obviously the Portuguese are there, and we do connect with the Portuguese as well.
Interesting. Yeah, I think sort of approaching it from that sense because if you're happy with the culture, I think that's a huge win. And that would makes everything so much easier. If you'd like to try it, I think if I, for example, were to consider going to Spain, for example, my first language is actually Spanish. If I were to consider going somewhere close by and try in a few weeks, probably Spain would be a great place to say, okay, do I like somewhere else? And I could probably be able to insert myself quite easily in that sense. So that sort of takes some of that decision and that pressure away. And I'm thinking it from that side, he says, what do I have to lose? Because I already have some things gained in the way. But I think, yeah, it's how things come as well. In my experience, if you see that nothing around you is sort of if you can't find really what you want to do, and then you just want to reconnect with culture, I'd say, yeah, it's a great way to just go and at least visit and say, is this still how I remember, perhaps? And just
Yeah.
thinking,
No,
yeah.
thank you for that. And what I did there was I mainly grew flowers and vegetables and did gardening work, But I don't
Mm,
really have, when I lived there before, I had no income really.
mm,
And but here I am on universal credit in UK, and the
gotcha.
jobs that I get here I don't fit into, let's say. They
Mm.
I don't feel I'm on the right path.
Mm,
Okay, so there's some work around that as well that would need to be done.
Yes.
Mm.
thank you. Okay, so I think Siobhan has asked. Are we all right to move on to Siobhan, Julie? Yeah, okay. Siobhan's asked, I would like some guidance around the next steps and the bigger picture. Oh, okay. So let's see what the bigger picture. Okay. Right, okay. Interesting. 2 came out. Take care of your body and put pen to paper. And this is quite interesting for you, Siobhan, knowing the things that you're good at and what you've trained in as well. So, with you doing a lot of self care, these are obviously self care cards. And I know you trained in something to do with fitness as well. And also writing, you've published books. So, writing's a big part of, your poetry as well. So, I'm just going to read the back of these. So, get a pen and notebook. Describe what you see in your immediate surroundings. Then think of a memory or imagine a scene. Write it in detail. What does it look like? Sound, smell, and taste like? Pick a card from this deck and write about what that topic means to you. Imagine you're writing a letter from your guardian angel. What would they say to you? And the affirmation is, I trust my intuitive writings and allow my pen to guide. So again, for everyone else, just looking at the card and hearing the prompts, see what it brings up for you around writing. And then the next one is take care of your body. So there's some little pictures of some massage and stretches. It says give yourself a massage, book one in, have a lush bath with lovely smells and candles, do some yoga or stretches, choose nourishing and healthy food, and eat with mindfulness. And the affirmation is I love and take care of my body. So just if you want to share on the chat if that anything comes up for you around your guidance of next step in the bigger picture in terms of these 2 cards, and any other questions that you'd like some guidance around in terms of this particular question. So I know we've had a talk, well, I've talked to you about this, so I know more about the situation. And it's, I suppose it's around, which the direction of what you need to move forward into it. And I know the last time we talked, it was about getting still and listening to what the universe has to share with you. And I'm wondering if you're still in that place right now, or if there's been any movement forward with anything. So I'm not getting anything from Siobhan yet, but if anyone else has any thoughts. So I think she wrote her situation further up around being at a crossroads in her work, with the charity ending, moving forward back online, to do so support coaches and healers in their businesses. So if you want to have a read of that as well, and anyone who has any thoughts for Siobhan or to do with the cards as well, if you'd like to share. Has anyone been at a crossroads before, and how did you get through it?
I can say something about writing. So if I start to write some poetry, or I just don't have a plan, actually, I just start to write. Say I write 3 pages of whatever's on my mind. Things pop out when I read it back, that I can find clarity or direction, or I can understand myself a bit better and how I'm feeling. So I think that helps massively. And I think yoga particularly helps as well, me in particular, because then I just focus on the body and only the body, and my mind just goes quiet. And then after that, clarity can come.
Yeah, definitely.
Hi.
Hi, thanks for telling me.
It's okay. I was I was actually just in the shower then, but I was listening like on the speaker, so I heard everything. And I just wanted to say thank you for those cards, and it couldn't have been more on point. I think, especially in terms of where I'm at on my personal journey. Just really like leaning into my body, and I feel like this year has been a year of focusing on the outer Elin as well, because I've spent a lot of time, many years, like healing internal things, and this year feels like it's been a year of like actually moving that outwards, and working on healing my connection to my body as well. And also with the writing, that's that's what I do, and that's what I need to do more of when I feel unclear about things. It just really brings me some clarity. And I like how you say that when you do a reading, it's a collective thing. And even the previous card was around, abundantly blessed or whatever it was. That felt really powerful as well, because I think sometimes when you're at a crossroad or you're in between situations, there's always a thing around having enough to survive, and the stability of financial abundance. And I think sometimes, even though we can't see it in the physical, sometimes it's just that deeper knowing that we're always abundantly blessed. I've been alive for 36 years now, and I'm still here. I've always been provided for. So yeah, I just wanted to share them reflections and say thank you for those cards as well.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's almost like I feel in a similar situation in terms of having to really connect to that abundance that is deeper than even the outer level, and just knowing, that even when things aren't clear in terms of the next steps, it's almost a bit like what Caroline was saying about those small growths of the tree and connecting with the roots. I think if we can all connect to our roots, it'll really help us. So actually that's making me feel like it's time to do a little meditation. So if you can sit where you are or lay down, just close your eyes, and we'll use that image of this tree in the abundantly blessed. So taking a few deep breaths in and out. And centering yourself. Feeling your body in the space. And imagine you've got roots going down, down into the center of the earth. And imagine these roots are coming back up, taking nourishment from the earth into the base of your spine. And visualize a tree behind you. And it's growing and growing until it's a full tree with beautiful leaves. And even though the leaves may be blowing in the wind, the tree stays where it is. The tree grounds you. The tree gives you life, oxygen, helps you to breathe. So just breathe in this tree of life. And now taking your awareness even further outward to notice there's not just this tree. There's a whole group of trees around you. And this represents the people in the group, but also the people beyond this group. All the people that are connecting to their natural selves, their inner selves. We are all grounding like trees into the earth, but reaching upwards simultaneously to the heavens. Just feel the presence of these trees. And trees talk to each other, and they're all connected in the roots. They connect to each other, they're not separate. Just feel this interconnectedness of the trees. See if you can bring in your other senses, so smell, sight, sense, feeling. See if you can hear the trees. What are they saying to you? And when you're ready, just opening your eyes to connect back to the group. Okay, so I'm going to move on to Adam's question. Is there something blocking me moving forward to get a new job? I have had a lot of stormy distractions this year. Okay, Adam, let's see what comes up for you. Ooh, 2 cards again. Forgiveness and compassion. Okay, so think of a person or situation you need to forgive. Acknowledge any feelings that arise. Consider the situation from all sides and perspectives. Is there another way to look at it? How can I see this differently? Invite compassion. Imagine you're offering a symbol of your forgiveness. It could be a lily, a candle, or anything you wish to this person or situation, and remember to include yourself. The affirmation is, I forgive everyone and everything. I am at peace. And there's a little dove in the corner and a prayer. Then the other one is quite a similar one. It even says some of the same things. Notice your current thoughts and feelings. Take a deep breath. Is there a way to see the situation differently? How can I bring compassion to it? Allow a wave of compassion to flow through your head to your feet and back up again. The affirmation is, I nourish myself with kindness, love, and compassion. I accept all parts of me in this situation. So I'll send the pictures of the cards that you each pulled after the call as well. So is anything that's bringing up for you in regards to this situation, or anything else, Adam?
I'm just like I feel that in terms of forgiveness and compassion, I give other I always I feel that I'm doing it enough for other people. So maybe it's just to do with like self-compassion, self-forgiveness. Like there's someone in my life at the moment who is hyper annoying, but I can see where they're coming from. So I'm fully willing to forgive them and just I'm giving them the best service I can give them. But so I feel like in the past I wasn't, but I definitely am now. So like I feel okay with that particular person. But it's just I guess it's that I I feel like I've gone through a lot of stormy situations, and I'm sort of like, for want of a better word, desperately want to get to the end of endless storms, and I just feel is that maybe you just have to sit there and forgive yourself and just weather the storm. And I wish that I had some more sort of like angle on it, but yeah. So I'll take that in terms of, I guess, self-forgiveness and self-compassion. Um,
Yeah. So is it forgiveness and self-compassion for the situation that you're in at the minute in terms of your work, or is it more forgiveness and compassion in terms of how you're, I don't know, what's the angle on it?
um, I would say is that so basically from my background, I feel there was a lot of beliefs in my background that was either you could have money or you could have happiness. And I find those sorts of beliefs quite frustrating because I'm actually when I was a kid I was extremely spiritual and I find is that you need to have both. You need both elements in order to live what I would call like a good quality of life. And so I just find that um I don't want it to be a choice between happiness or money because money, whilst it's blamed for a lot of things, money is actually the key to moving things forward in a lot of scenarios. And if you have basically working at the job center, seeing a lot of people that have no money, and the effect on their life is like they don't have good lives. They're constantly complaining because they don't have anything. And yes, they should value what they've got more, definitely. But it's just having a bit of money is a good thing. So I am just sort of sat in this scenario where I want to develop, I want to have a bit more money because I feel like I haven't gone on holiday for years. I can barely afford new clothes. I'd actually like to have a little bit more money, if not quite a bit more money. And then it's also I can do things with that. Whereas at the moment, uh, I have no complaints per se. I live a basic life, but it's positive and that's good. But it's just I would just like to be able to be, I don't know, business orientated enough to get some more money coming in. Then I want to network more and get out there more. So
Yeah.
yeah.
The thought that's coming to mind is that you have the opportunity right now. You have a job, but you also have a business. Is there ways that you can promote that business? So, for example, like doing something like this, a session where you promote your coaching. It doesn't have to be like this. It could be an in-person thing. It could be offering a discount on sessions or something where it gets the word out about your services, because being a coach in order to get clients, which will bring you more money, you have to tell people about what you're doing. And I know you're changing your branding, your name, which people get very stuck on names sometimes. I mean, when I started, it was just Find Your Voice, and that was all I was called. I wasn't called Creative Hearts. Yeah, have you got a link to your coaching? Maybe put it on the group.
Well,
Yes. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but sometimes it's just we get very caught up on like names, or what am I going to call myself, or what am I going to, my website, my branding, how am I going to get like a proper, it all set up. And actually, most of the time, you just need to create a few free events and then tell people.
yeah. So one of the things I have decided, it's I get into this sort of argument with myself, which is about um I want to do something positive, but I also want some money.
Yeah.
But basically, the reason why I'm wanting the money is so that I can do positive things. Yes, for myself, for the sum of it, because no one's zero selfish. But it's just uh no one's completely selfless is my understanding of the world. But it's just that what I've toyed with recently is that so I've created a course of the creative way to make so one of the things I made is the mannequin, and the creative way that anyone could make the mannequin. And the reason why I think this is good is that people can basically map themselves. It's a fun activity, it's a creative activity, and it's really like sketching in 3D. And I want to give that opportunity to people. So I think what I'm going to do is post my mannequin creative course on YouTube and just give that away for free. And I want to interact with people. And this is where I'm finding it most frustrating is that yes, as a business person, I want to make some money, but it's more like I don't want to go through my life and not interact with people. I want people to see that actually the stuff that I produce, it's really interesting. And I'm not looking for people to give me money for no reason. But what I'm more bothered about at the moment is I want to actually interact with people. Like it's boring not being able to. You've got something which is of value. It is of value and it's interesting. And as I've gone down this sort of art path, this creative path, it's um it's it's made me engage with people. It's made me engage with people on the street in sort of street art. It's made me find other groups of artists, and that's actually interesting. So, like, can I have some more of that? Like, because the money is something which you need in order to live, and you want to go on holiday and do things with it. But it's like I actually want to interact with people. I don't want to just sit here in a box the whole time, blocked from the world.
Okay, Chris has something to say.
Yeah, yes, you've reminded me of something I haven't thought about for a couple of years, so I'm trying to remember all the detail. But I think one of the problems we have when we talk about being selfish or selfless is we get stuck in one or the other. And actually, the most positive way forward, and it relates to the whole history of cooperation, cooperative retail and cooperativism and all of that, is self-interest. And the thing about self-interest is by helping other people, I help myself. And it's understanding, you're right, we're always motivated by, or we should be motivated by self-interest. I think it's of a higher moral value than selflessness. Because selfless, if you're being selfless, you're just giving and giving and giving and getting nothing back. And ultimately, you're going to be exhausted by all of that. But self-interest really works, and it gives you the opportunity to interact with others and cooperate with others and participate together. So I think we've got to get out of this, oh, I don't want to be selfish. If I'm selfish, terrible things will happen to me. I'll go to hell and I'll be roasted on a spit by demons. And It's none of that's true.
It's because I see other people out there interacting with the world, and whether or not they're making money, people are willing to interact. And sometimes I've encountered that when I've gone out there with the mannequin, or I've gone out there with some of the other models and things that I've got, and that's what I'm looking for. It's like the interaction of it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it full on because I want to be like the famous celebrity that rules all other celebrities. That's not what I'm here for. I'm just saying is that like a healthy, lively interaction with other people, and like
Mm.
that's normal. Like, yeah.
I think one of the things to do with this forgiveness and compassion as well, it's almost like I feel like you need to realize how well you're doing and what you've already created and what you've already achieved. So the fact that you've got a job that you're doing, but you're also creating these mannequins and having these experiences, and you've set up a coaching business, and you're interacting with us, and sort of valuing what you're creating and what your goal is, your values are in the right place. So it's recognizing that, there's so many other people that just don't have those values or don't see what's important to them, whereas you're quite clear, like it's really clear from what you're saying that, yeah, you just want to share what you're doing and you want to interact with the world and have more of that, please. And the fact that you've been doing it, I suppose, is just recognizing that, and you've also been working at the same time, and you're helping other people with jobs as well, because you work at the job centre, right? So it's like you're able to witness people at perhaps their lowest of how they're feeling, and perhaps, helping them. I don't know what role you play, but helping them to support them in whatever they need to get going again. But it's just, I guess, just recognizing the value that you're providing on a consistent basis, whether that be through your job or whether it's through your art or your coaching. Do you know what I mean? So I know it's really, really hard to value yourself when the world doesn't seem to value what you're doing, and you're just like, well, I just would like a bit more money or a bit more time to do what I want. It's something that I've been battling with as well. Even last night, I went on a rampage in another group, and I was just sharing all my thoughts and feelings, and just ended up feeling a bit like I wasn't doing the right thing. But then I reminded myself of all the people that do support and just that connection. And this is why I do this. It is for that interaction and that connection. So yeah, Julie's raised a hand.
I just wanted to say one thing about money. Just earlier on, I saw a very brief video from Jim Carrey, and he said, if you want to manifest something, you just ask for it. You just ask for the money. And he wrote himself a check for 10 million. And eventually he did receive 10 million from acting in a film. So it came true, like what he asked for, it came. I don't know. He said it works for him. He just asks and it just comes.
Go for it, Caroline.
Yeah, I just wanted to echo what you said, Gemma, because I was just thinking when you were talking, Adam, I was just thinking the word that just came into my mind was roots. And actually just seeing, I just felt like you had like a massive network of roots. And when you talked about like stormy times, it's like it just made me think of like the tree, and it's all about the roots, isn't it? And the deep roots. And just from what Gemma said, I thought, yeah, it's just like maybe actually just see the roots that you've got, and that is actually your strength, the roots.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're nearly finished, but is there anyone else that would like me to pull them a quick card? Chris, Caroline, or Pablo, would you want me to pull you a card just quickly, or any questions? No?
You can pull me. I haven't really got a question, but go on, just pull me a card.
Do you want to pull one of your cards?
Okay.
I can pull you a card as well, but it'd be nice to hear one of your cards.
That's an interesting one. This one is accept feedback.
Nice.
So throughout living systems, feedback is a process for gaining information to inform future actions. And then on the back, it's how can you become more open to receiving feedback from your surroundings and other people?
That's a nice one. I pulled you be creative in the kitchen.
Oh gosh. That's not my love, actually. I don't love cooking. So maybe it's like I need to actually, enjoy the process rather than like, oh golly, not another blooming meal.
Open a recipe book for inspiration. Try out a new recipe. Go to the cupboard and make something fun with the ingredients you find. Buy some fresh foods or grow your own. Make a smoothie. Write a list of recipes to eat this week and see if you can add something new or do something different than you normally would. Add different herbs, spices, nuts, or some fruits and vegetables. And the affirmation is, I enjoy and create my food with love and happiness. Okay. So
It was, can I just share, it was interesting about the feedback actually, because just doing the, I do love doing these, mindfulness walks. I just love having it's just magic, a group of complete strangers. And not only are we connecting with nature and the river, but the connection with each other. So like we do circle sharing and we pass the stone round as a talking piece. And even at Chatsworth, I had a woman in tears at Chatsworth because of that sort of sharing and analogies with nature and everything. And I just love that sharing and the feedback. What was lovely today at our walk today, all complete strangers. I'd never met any of them before, and 2 volunteers. And it was lovely because at the end of the session, they gave me a round of applause, which actually was lovely, to have that. I've not had that before when I've done a session, because it's not like I'm a speaker or something, we sort of finish with like a mindfulness and that's the end of the session, but it actually did feel lovely feedback that somebody started off and then everybody just gave me a little clap. So that feedback was actually, lovely to have that immediate response from people.
that is really nice. I'm just going to share an offer that I have on at the minute. So there's only 2 days left for the offer. I'm just giving the discount code. So I have a course called The Creation Principles, which I think Chris and Adam, did you do it at the beginning of this year? It was called Create Your 2024. You're on mute.
Yes, I remember going through it, and it was about imagining 2024 and the grid that we used.
Yes. Did you get the link for the course version?
You have sent me some links. I am in a backlog with everything due to something that happened earlier on this year. So I will have a look. I do apologize.
Chris, did you get the link?
You sent me a link which I've lost.
That's all right.
So I mean, yes, I'd like to have a look at some point. Yeah.
So at the minute, I've got, so the course is normally £37 and it's going to be £22. So you get £15 off using the discount code Create with Heart. So I've just put that in there, and this lasts till the 30th of September, which is my birthday. So there you go. And it just gives you 5 principles to support you in getting things done that you want to create, but it's also a spiritual process. So there's meditations in there, there's limiting belief practices, letting go of limiting beliefs, creating new beliefs. And there's also like timetables of how you can plan out the year, which I know we're getting to the end of the year, but you can still do it with September, October, November, December. We've still got 4 months. So yeah, I wanted to share that link with you. I've also got Finding Your Voice course as well, and you can have one-on-one coaching sessions with me. I'm also trained in Reiki healing, and yeah, I think that's all I want to share for now. I think you're all on the group, so I can share the link on the group anyway. But if anyone has any links that you want to share, I think Adam, people were asking for your website and stuff about your creative stuff, your construction.
I'll post the link from my Instagram. So I have basically 2 channels that I'm running, and one of the channels is my coaching, and then the other channel is my creative side. The creative side I've developed quite a bit. The coaching side, I'm looking to develop more this year. So give me 1 second, I'll just post it.
Fine. I'm going to stop the recording. But thank you so much, everyone, and I hope to see you again soon. I've not got the date for the next one, but when I do, I'll be sending that. And if anyone wants to join me as a co-host at any point, just let me know. We do have a few people booked in. But thank you so much, Siobhan. Thank you, everyone.